is ahead, I think, in terms of human rights and rule of law. I think what the government is doing by introducing these two bills, and of course the first bill has been passed, and now the Sedition Act amendment is actually supposed to show that the government is not too concerned about human rights and fundamental liberties. Pota bill, as we know, provides for detention without trial. This is something which we thought has ended when the ISA was repealed. But unfortunately, last year with the passing of the Prevention of Crime Act amendment, and this year with the passing and the Dewan Rakyat release of the Prevention of Terrorism Act, it does appear that detention without trial is back. Detention without trial is against human rights because it is a human rights principle that you can only be incarcerated, you can only be punished if, number one, you have been charged in court, number two, you have been allowed to defend yourself in court, and number three, you have been convicted of the offence that you're charged for. When you don't have any of this, and when you give power to anybody to detain a person without trial, that is against human rights. There are also other concerns with the Pota bill, the exclusion of judicial review. But at least if you have powers for the courts to look at what is happening and for the courts to be empowered to correct any wrongdoings by the state, then at least you've got a certain safeguard there. It is actually very, very scary because there are provisions there which go beyond whatever the government has been saying in terms of trying to strengthening the act by criminalizing people who insult religion and also people who are calling for the secession of Sabah and Sarawak. If you look at the amendments and what is stable today, it is actually goes beyond that because now they can no longer impose fine. Now they have to, once they find someone to be guilty of sedition, they have to at least impose 3 years minimum sentence. This is a concern. There's no reason to put it aside because we have not seen the government saying that the current punishment is not enough. That is little comfort. You know why? Because the Sedition Act is so wide that actually even if they take that away, it doesn't matter. They can use other seditious tendencies to catch you anyway, to convict you. If you look at it recently, they have not charged anyone for criticizing the government. They have charged people for doing all sorts of things, but they never specifically say, this is a criticism of government, we're charging you or arresting. So this is actually nothing. Just there to put to make people think, these amendments are good. We're hurtling towards even the days of, we have never seen this kind of laws before, First of all, the ISA, which is for detention without trial. Now we have two laws which allow for detention without trial. The Prevention of Crime Act and we're going to have the Prevention of Terrorism Act. Both detention without trial. They have provisions which are almost similar to the ISA. So we are actually going even more backward, even worse than when we had the ISA. But in terms of sedition, if you look at it, with this amendment, these are actually worse because the Sedition Act was never this draconian. It was never this draconian. Now we actually have a law that will allow the government to basically stifle all forms of dissent in Malaysia.